Hello, hello, hello. And we are live. Want to make sure that everything is working properly. There. Thank you for joining us today. Uh, Today is the another podcast. Sorry, we took a little bit longer than anticipated. We had some trouble that we had to go through, but we finally were able to make everything all right. Today we're gonna be talking a little bit of just one news and specifically. Um, and we'll mainly focus on the new pilot that just came out. But before we get started, would like to introduce special guest today. Today we have working, and there it is. We have Walter. Thank you, Walter, for joining us today. He is the Nevada Club owner, and we've been sponsoring him for a couple months already. And
Yep.
If you can tell us a little about yourself and what is and about the club all about.
Yeah. So first of all, thank you very much for having me on. Really happy to come on. So the Nevada Inn Club, what it is, it's essentially a group of enthusiasts. You know, a lot of different people from all walks of life that all own Hyundai and vehicles, and we will hang out, go and do cruises. We'll go to shows, and honestly, just kind of hang out together like a group of misfits. So that's kind of what we do.
Right. It's interesting. I mean, it's nice that car meets has become it's been there for a long time, and clubs are always there, but slowly they're being decaying. There's because a lot of controversy there is happening out there.
Yeah.
But I understand that your club is very very respectful with others, and they try to be a really good community, and that's what we saw when we were talking about the Korean car vlog being part of helping and the end about the club with you know the meet that you guys have, and I'm happy that everything seems to be working out good. Can you
Yeah.
tell us how many members you currently have at the moment?
Yeah. So right now, registered members, we're at about 48. So we've been steadily growing since we started at the beginning of 2020, or actually 2021.
2021. Nice. And can you tell me which models they currently uh, are part of the club?
Yeah, so we have everything from the original N vehicle with the Veloster, which is what I have, and I want to say maybe about another 8 or 10 have. Then we also have Elantra and Kona and Sonata N line, and a couple of other N line vehicles that are just all part of the group. And like you said, we hang out. We're very respectful. We don't like going to those. Locations that like to do things that everybody frowns upon. So
Correct. Yeah, and it's good because that way, you know, you're motivating another clubs to do the same thing, and be kind of go back to what it used to be before.
right,
And this is great. So I'm glad that you are the owner, and also you're able to you know have the 100 brands in there. So hopefully the club will get bigger and bigger. I know
yeah,
that already Hyundai has already invited you guys for different events. We'll be talking about a little bit that later.
yeah.
But before we talk about that, and I just want to briefly talk about the recent news that just came out, which is the about the Hyundai Palisade. So are you ready?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
All right. So let's go ahead and jump into this news today, which I thought it was really interesting to kind of talk about. And that is the reveal of the Hyundai Palisade. Now, this of course is rebuilt in Korea,
Hmm.
and the design language basically kind of imitates, or it goes back to the same to the Hyundai uh, uh not the Tucson, but the anyway, the other SUV that they have already slipped my mind, but it's kind of boxy, Like as everyone is saying, it's very similar to the Land Rover.
Yeah.
Um, but what do you think? What do you think about this new design that Hyundai now is focusing on their new SUV lineup?
Well, I mean, from everything that I've seen and kind of the original Palisade, right? The one that's out now, they definitely are making it boxier. From what I can tell, another thing that sticks out to me is it's almost like they're trying to change the design language first in these vehicles and carrying it on through the rest of the line.
Mhm.
It just it's not as bespoke as it used to be.
Right.
It's almost like they're just starting to conform to what everybody else is doing in the market.
That is true. Yeah, it seems like now they're trying to, um, they're trying to grab the not popularity, but the luxury that these vehicles had back then because they were unique on their own.
Hmm.
And now they're trying to, capture some of those um, car sales from these high luxury brands. And but then of course Hyundai still has their own unique, um, like the headlights that are, the little squares coming down, and they still have that unique on Hyundai signatures on these vehicles. But of course, this is a big um, grab from the Land Rover. Um, Now the inside, it's uh, it's different. Of course,
It's interesting.
yes, it is. It is. I mean, it doesn't jump too far from the current um, Palisade, but
Right.
it is different. I mean, now it's definitely more luxurious. I mean, you can see the the letter everywhere, the LEDs going around. It's more simple in a way, but at the same time, I guess it's they're trying to go up one notch on the materials that they're using. Um,
Yeah, you
and then of
can
course,
see that.
yeah, and then the display. Now they have they had that before, but they have continuous display from the cluster to the entertainment system, and now they're doing the same thing. So, what do you think about this interior?
Honestly, the interior, I mean, it's not my favorite color choice, but the type of interior that it is, it does look like they're stepping it up quite a bit with how they want to represent themselves and how they want that vehicle to pretty much feel that luxurious feel, uh, almost like this car could be a Genesis vehicle because of how luxurious they're trying to make it. It looks like it's very driver focused too. If you
Hmm.
Everything is all the way on the driver's side, and it's actually it looks really interesting.
Yeah, it seems like um everything is more drivers focused, and then they're letting the passengers just relax,
Hmm.
enjoy the view of the and the feel of the leather. And because I mean they have a leather everywhere. I mean
Yeah,
it's like everywhere.
it is.
So it's kind of interesting that they're approaching this. Uh, they're going this way on the Palisade. Of course, it's how many years? Here it is. So it's definitely boxy, right? It's
Hmm.
very boxy. They still have the DRLs on their side, and I guess they had the headlights right on the middle.
Yep.
Um, so how do you feel about this big box now, or being seen on the road?
Seeing it on the road, I can see where definitely is a vehicle that's made to be able to take everywhere, right? I mean, it's big, it's boxy, like you said. It kind of reminds you a little bit of the Land Rover or the Hyundai Santa Fe. Kind of bringing some of those cues in here, but it looks luxurious. It's got that Land Cruiser vibe almost to it as well.
Mhm. Yeah, I think it's gonna be interesting how. this future, or whoever's going to operate on the vehicles, and if they will actually choose the Palisade as their next vehicle, or they will go a different brand. Because this is definitely a design that either you will like it or you just don't. Uh,
Yeah, there's
and
no in between with that.
yeah, exactly. So, but the thing is, and one of the things that always Honda has done is the technology on their vehicles is just outstanding. So, and the features that they come with for the price, it's always been good. And that's what I feel like a lot of people usually go into the Hyundai brand, because the packages that they have is really good. Um,
Yeah.
so in this one, they're saying that let me jump really quick into. I want to go jump into the let's see.
No, why you do that? I mean, I think you're absolutely correct with that, right? I mean, you look at all the vehicles that are in that the same type of vehicle, that size, and what all the manufacturers offer. Hyundai has always given you the most technology, the most what I would say amenities inside of a vehicle for the price. And I mean, with these shots here, I mean it. I think people are gonna like it. There are gonna be some people that say no, but I think it's gonna be really really neat to see it in person. Actually,
Yeah. Another interesting thing will be the price.
yeah,
Of course, they will have to jump on the price, but how much they will be jumping on the price? Um, and let's see, they have the 12 inches digital cluster and island type center console. Kind of going the same way. They have wireless charging, USB ports, like they have currently with the the current model, dual cup
right,
hold storage, and of course they have the calligraphy model, which is the higher end. Um, where is on there? The high end vehicle,
right.
and it'll be interesting how this will hit when it hits the market here in the United States. How everyone will uh, receive this car, and if it will become popular. What do you think? Will it be popular in the United States, or
I
it will?
think it will. I think it will because the U.S. has always liked big vehicles. It's always been whether it's whatever manufacturer, big vehicles have always been a thing, and seeing these come in and bigger than the original version, I think it's definitely going to be an eye catcher for some people. One thing I did notice, is this their second vehicle that they're rolling out with 21-inch wheels?
I think so. The disorder and the dynamic. I believe so. Yeah,
Because those are big wheels to put on a production car like that, and I mean, from my understanding, I think that would be the second one aside from the Ionic 5N that comes with 21 inches.
interesting. I didn't know about that one, but yeah, it seems like that might be the case. And I mean, it is as it is. This car is big, and now they're gonna create even bigger wheels, so it's
Yeah,
gonna feel huge. It's gonna
those
be a
those
big car.
tires are going to be expensive for that car for sure.
Yeah, but of course, this is the calligraphy, so they usually go like in the
Yeah,
higher end, but yeah, the tires are gonna be really expensive too. Um, but yeah, it
but I
seems like
like it.
I feel like it's gonna do well here in the United States. Like you mentioned, United States usually they like bigger cars and everything, and I'm in Texas, so Texas they usually go big with their cars and trucks. So I'm pretty sure that we're gonna see a lot of these cars in here in Texas driving around, and as you can see on the parking lot, it's taking the whole room. Of course, this is in Korea. The parking lot is smaller, but yeah, I'm pretty sure that it will take quite a bigger space. Um,
Yeah,
and but yeah, this is interesting. Hopefully, it will show up soon in the United States. And but yeah, I think I feel like this will do really good here in the United States. The Palisade. Hopefully, we'll
yeah.
see. I think that there's also showing up in Europe.
Okay.
So it'll be interesting to see how the sales do in Europe.
Yeah,
Um,
no, definitely. I definitely see it being a vehicle that people will buy for themselves. It also, with the interior shots, with everything that we're seeing right now, it seems like a car that you would buy, for a fleet, or somebody that's going to be driven around, because you have the driver focus, and then you have the passenger experience, which I'm sure on the calligraphy model is going to be quite a lot of technology there.
yeah, yeah, it will be. We'll I guess we'll follow this car, and hopefully, I'm pretty sure they will do great, but we'll follow the sales on this car, and hopefully, uh, they continue selling more of this car. All
Yep.
right. So with that said, that was the new Hyundai Palisade, and now let's shift the focus on the Hyundai uh End Festival at the Sonoma Raceway. So I know that you kind of approach you for this event. So can you tell us a little bit of the background, how they approach you, what how was their initial approach, and how did they pitch this for you guys to be part of this event?
Yeah, definitely. So as as you know, last year Hyundai did their first Hyundai driving experience
Hmm.
out in Sonoma, and originally when Hyundai reached out, it sounded like it was going to be a Hyundai driving experience again, but they were very quiet about what they were doing. Yeah, they were
Right.
like, "Hey, we're gonna have an event at Sonoma again." So everybody just immediately said, "Okay, it's an HDX, awesome." So they told us, "Hey, this is when it'll be. Uh, how many people can you bring out?" It ended up being, I want to say, 7 or 8 different clubs. We had the NorCal and SoCal, Nevada, Arizona, Pacific Northwest, Colorado, and I believe there was one or two from Texas.
Wow. Okay.
So it was actually pretty cool. About a week beforehand, they gave us the name. We didn't know that it was the End Festival
That's
until a week before.
nice.
So the moment that we found out, everybody got excited. I mean, all we've ever seen are the videos and pictures from the end festivals across the world,
Right. Yeah.
and now being able to do it here. So, as far as the Nevada Inn Club was concerned, we actually left Friday morning from Vegas, and went all the way up to Sonoma, California. So the event was on a Saturday. We drove the day before, so we had our Thanksgiving dinner, went to sleep, woke up, got on the road.
Do you guys knew that? I mean, I guess they didn't mention what cars they're going to be bringing for the event.
No,
Okay,
they
so
they
everything
didn't
was just a
mention it.
complete surprise.
Everything was a surprise, and even when we got there, things were still surprised. So they didn't let us know that they were going to have the exclusive Hyundai merch there.
Oh,
So
nice.
we were able to purchase any of the Hyundai end performance products. They had, of course, the RN24, the Ionic 5N drift spec, the TA spec of it, and they actually had their drivers there.
Yeah,
So
I see that. Is no Mark is not there. This is the back
I think he was.
Mark Wilkin.
I think so. I don't think he's in that picture, but I think he was there at least for a bit.
Okay.
But it was actually pretty cool. So we were supposed to arrive and check in at 6 in the morning.
Oh,
So yeah, we got there at 6 in the morning. They had us just park. Everybody had different things to get ready. Whether it was their cars with just track tires, just checking up and dialing everything in. They went ahead and gave us instructions on what we were doing and how the day was going to go. They separated us into 4 different groups. There was two groups that had instructors because they've never been on the track, and then you had 2 groups with people that have hit the track before, so and they were going by themselves. So that's how they separated us, and they gave us 2 rounds in the morning to for each group, had lunch, and then after that went back at it again. until 5 o'clock, where we did a whole parade lap with the track vehicles, the Hyundai vehicles in front, of course, leading it. But throughout the day, for anybody that wasn't driving at that moment, they had drift demos. They had the RN24 out there doing demos as well. And just like this picture here with the TA spec,
Mm.
actually on the track as well. That was a crazy experience.
Oh wow, I bet because I mean these cars are fast, like really fast.
Yeah, they are. That's actually me in the passenger seat, that holding on for dear life in that thing. Yeah.
Interesting. So it's like I mean obviously these events are always fun, but when these companies or car manufacturers, mostly they have a big budget, they go all the way, and being an end festival, which is
Mhm.
it just happening. This was before it happened in Japan, right? But no,
No,
after Japan.
after, right after, and
So
then I
this will
think
be
this week is Australia, right?
correct, correct. So okay, so this will be technically the third event that they're doing. So it's interesting that when we had the uh when we had the event, because Jose was there in the first one, and we were talking during the event and everything. I was telling him, why didn't bring it over here in the United States? It all makes sense to bring it over here in the United States. Of course, the whole competition, the logistics would have been difficult for both companies, but I was telling myself in my head, I was like, why didn't brought it? But I guess they're already planning into doing it here in the United States, and I'm glad that they did it because it's even though it was a private event, it was only by invitation, correct?
Right.
Um, so, but still, the fact that they were able to invite people um, to be part of this event and make it more exclusive to the Hyundai A and owners, uh, giving appreciation to them for buying this models. It's really cool that uh, they actually did that. That's the Hyundai Kona.
Yeah, no, it was really cool. I mean, honestly, the experience from the drive there and actually being at the track, and there was representatives from Hyundai Korea there, and so not just US, right? And that really made a difference for everybody. They did talk to us about how they were looking to see how to bring this to us, and they were really happy they were able to do it. They did mention that it's hard to do it in the US, and the reason being is because the US is pretty big, right? So you have all these end owners across the nation, and yeah, we had this here. The first thing that we saw on, I believe it was either one of my posts on my Instagram or the Nevada End Club Instagram, was somebody from the East Coast saying, "When are they going to bring it here?"
Of course, of
So
course, of course. Yeah, it only makes sense. Yeah.
logistically, it makes it hard to do that. But actually, one thing I forgot to mention that they actually surprised us with as well. If you notice in this picture, you see how there's two cars that have blue flags on the rear,
Yeah,
kind
yeah,
of.
still in the back.
So yeah, so Hyundai got flags printed for everybody that showed up.
Mm.
So they say Hyundai on one side, and then it says the club name on the other. So
Oh
we
wow,
have some that say Nevada N Club on there with Hyundai on the other side. So it was actually pretty cool that they took the time to do, those little things, little surprises that, make you feel like you're a part of a bigger community. I mean, they had 110 cars.
106. Wow. Yeah. See,
So it was
let
cool.
me let me go back into the first picture. There it is. Yeah, it's really cool that all of them were able to show up and yeah, we see here the three different colors. It's awesome that you know I know that they at one point they kind of stopped doing events because they had some events before, but now it seems like they're bringing it back and they're inviting all these different clubs, and which is good. Now, as we said, this was on the West Coast. Hopefully, and I understand it's difficult. They will do it on the East Coast. But I feel like the the majority of the clubs currently probably it's on the West Coast. I haven't seen too many on the East Coast. Um,
There's some. We're actually part of like a national NChat, and there are some. There's some in Texas. There's some in Florida. There's a big one in Florida actually. There's a couple others on the East Coast as well. One of the things that somebody did mention about why it's difficult to do it in the East Coast is they usually do it around this time. Now, California or the West Coast, for the most part, is usually sunny or
right,
warm enough to do it. Where you go to Florida, you go to New York, you go any of those areas, you're gonna run into weather issues.
right.
So planning all of that at the same time, I think, also
So
complicates
unpredictable.
the things. Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, I feel like yeah, it's always gonna be difficult to plan these things because obviously the weather changes, then you spend so much money into these events, and all of a sudden you have to cancel it. That's not a good thing. But yeah, even Florida, like you mentioned, Florida. I know that I kind of went over my head, but yeah, Florida is another place where they actually do have a lot of art in there. So hopefully, maybe Florida in the near future. But I know that Sonoma Raceway, it's kind of Hyundai's home for most of their events that they do. So it all makes sense to have the event in there. Um, and but yeah, it seems like I I really appreciate what Hyundai is trying to do with the consumer, with the car owners, and trying to make them more as a family, right? So you have different clubs where not just in different states or different cities or different states, but pull them all together, and that way you have a bigger community. More than likely, there were a lot of people who you were talking on the internet, and all of a sudden, in one day, you're literally talking to them from face to face and
Right.
exchanging information and ideas for customizing. Because ultimately, all these events are for meeting new people, of course, and also how
Mhm.
to change your car, right? There are new parts that are
Yeah.
coming out, and which it kind of went down a little bit, right? I used to modify my car. I don't do it. I don't do it. Uh, I don't do it anymore. But how do you feel like the customization for the part for the Hyundai brand has come? Like, has it gone up or it become steady?
So it kind of depends on the actual model, right? I mean, the Veloster had a ton of aftermarket support. The Kona doesn't have as much. Luckily, there's a lot of interchangeable parts that could be
Okay.
used because they're all using that same engine block, right?
Hmm.
The Elantra does have a lot of aftermarket support as well. And I think it's just based on, the unit sales, right? I mean, you look at Kona, Kona is not for sale anymore. There's no Kona ends being made anymore, but Elantras there is. And there is a nice amount of performance parts and all that. Going to an event like this, you start to see kind of how everybody's individuality comes out, right?
Right.
And I think that that's the key thing. Whether you're using the same exact parts, they're going to look different on everybody's car because everybody puts in their own little flavor, their own flair to it. Whether it's pink wheels on a black car, there was one that was like that. I don't think I got a picture of it. Or like this, Greg's Kona with, you know, uh, yeah, we call it the baby shark because of the way that he has it looking. But it just shows that we can all start with the same canvas and just making it your own.
Yeah, I mean, definitely and that's well, pretty much it's all about, right? Modifying your car to your own taste. It doesn't really matter what other people say about your car. It's just your own car, your own style,
Yep.
and as long as everyone is respectful with the modifications that you do, or also take criticism that where you can do better and things like on modifying the car and things that you can add on the car, then it's all about the community that we feel like we need to have.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that you as the owner of an Nevada Club, are always providing that to the members. But yeah, it's like I always thought that this is really cool. Uh, I I don't know if you remember, but many years ago we used to have the Handfest event where we did it at the Proving Grounds. Well, we actually did it in the first one was in Proving Grounds, the second one was in Texas. Uh, Proving Grounds in California, and
Yeah.
it was fun because we were able to have Andes and Kias there, which Ande was not too happy about that. But anyway, it's a Proving Grounds, right? They have both models in there, but it was fun. We had a lot of
Yeah.
fun, and that's kind of one of the things that I missed it a lot. Being part of this club and you know bringing all these cars together and then seeing all the modifications that they have done. But yeah, it's really cool. Now, obviously, now they're showing these different cars and so you say you rode in both of them, right?
Hmm.
So this one was the how do you spell the other one? The other one, I forgot the name of the car.
The RN24
24.
or
Yeah,
so the RN24, it's like a go-kart.
it is. Yeah, pretty much.
That's the best way to describe it. I mean, even when we were watching it and they were doing some of the demos, that thing was doing just 0 point donuts, just
Oh wow.
all-wheel drive donuts, just going in a single space. Or in this one, this is the one that they drove over in Pikes Peak,
Hmm.
and it was insane. The driver is like, all right, we're gonna take off in 5 4, didn't even get to 0, he just took off. And it's crazy how you're in these vehicles, and the capability of these drivers, because one, the vehicle can do everything that they built it to do,
Right.
but being passenger in a car like that it just feels like your entire body just is planted in there, and the driver's talking to you the entire time,
Oh wow.
like it's a normal day. So it's insane. An experience that at least once in a lifetime somebody has to go and take a chance on doing.
Now let me ask you this. So did they brought the same car? Do you know if they brought the same car or there's a second model that they have?
You know what? I'm not 100% sure.
Uh, that mm, actually, now that I think about it, because it's like it might be the same car.
It might be the same one.
Mm, interesting. Because obviously that, I mean, I doubt that they will make two. I mean, they could make two, but yeah, it seems like it's the same one. So I guess they ship it
Yeah.
around.
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, that was fun. I mean, how do you feel like this event um ranked in the event, all the events that you have done so far? Because obviously you went to SEMA not too long
Yeah.
ago.
Yeah,
Uh,
so SEMA, HDX, and a couple other events that I've done with other manufacturers. I want to say that this is the top of the list. This is at the top, and the reason why is because they really, you know, they really brought everything to the table, from making sure that everybody was educated about the track to those little things. To they gave everybody a goodie bag, and actually have it here. Everybody that was there, they gave them a shirt. They
right.
you know they gave us a calendar. It was just all those little things, kind of where they're showing their appreciation and want you to feel like you are part of whatever they're doing. It was a surreal experience. It really was, and I think everybody that was there felt the same. There was nobody that was angry. Everybody was happy. Some tired,
I bet.
but
Yeah, it was a whole day.
but
You said, right?
it was a whole day event. So checking at 6, and it ended at what, 5:30.
Did they provide a
And
food and everything, or
yeah, they provided lunch, they provided water, anything that you needed, they had.
oh, that's awesome. I mean, I'm glad that they're doing this type of events. So hopefully they'll keep doing it because I'm pretty sure that everyone will love to be part of this event. Of course, maybe it might not be the end festival, but hopefully they'll do more of these events in the future.
Yeah.
But yeah, this was great. The I know you mentioned you obviously you're part of the different events that Hyundai do, like whenever they race at Sonoma Speedway. I know you mentioned you asked me before if I could go, but schedule wise it's not. But maybe in the future, we'll stop by and do a live stream there. And I mean, I know Mark Wilkins, and the reason I mentioned Mark Wilkins because I know him for a very long time. Back when he was used to actually back when he used to ride with Gia Racing with theirs
Okay.
with his Tima and but yeah, no, it'll be great to see those guys again. Now obviously riding with the Hyundai, but
Yeah.
if you can tell me how if any other Hyundai car owner or I don't know if they want to be part of the club, how they can reach you and how they can if there are any um, of course besides owning a car, is there any requirements or how can they can. Mhm.
Yeah, so I mean, and not just for the Nevada Ant Club, right? For any Ant Club, the first thing that I would do is go on our Instagram, Nevada Ant Club, and if you have a question, the only requirement is have an N or N line vehicle. There's no need to say, I got these modifications. It doesn't matter whether you're stock or not. That doesn't matter. And honestly, when it comes to the person, it's just wanting to be part of a group genuinely, right? And I think that's the biggest thing, and that's what you see in a lot of the end clubs. And we'll go ahead and talk to each other and tell each other, hey, there's somebody that's in Nevada or somebody that's in Northern California that wants to join. Here's the info, because we want this community to keep growing. Right. In order for Hyundai to continue to do events, to continue to want to push the envelope like this, they have to see the community.
Exactly. Mhm.
So that's what our goal is.
Awesome, awesome. So you said what was the Instagram
At
uh,
Nevada and Club.
Nevada Club? Okay. Uh, do you have an email or
Yeah.
usually just
They can, you can also go ahead and contact us. So it's at contact at nevadaandclub.com. And if you want to go on the website as well to just kind of take a look at everything, it's nevadaandclub.com.
perfect? Awesome. So I guess this was a really good interview. Thank you, Walter, for being part of this. Hopefully,
Of
we'll do it
course.
again in the future.
Yep.
But thank you for joining us today. Do you have any last words to say, Walter?
No, just first of all, I want to thank the Korean Car Blog for being part of what we're doing. You guys have been awesome to us, and I just want to take a second and thank everybody in the Nevada Ant Club. And actually, if you don't mind, just a little bit of a special thank you
Yeah,
to
go
my wife, because she has to deal with me and all the car stuff that I do.
ahead.
So, and she's always there, being our backbone to all of us, almost like a mom to the entire club. So it's actually pretty cool to see the entire family, enjoying what we do.
Awesome, awesome. Well, thank you, Walter, for everything you do, and hopefully, again, we'll see personally each other in the different events that you guys are part of, and I guess we'll see you in the future then.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, thank you very much for everyone to join us today. This was the Korean Car Blog TV. This is a podcast. We're gonna try to do as much as we can. There's been some hiccups here and there, but we'll try to improve more in the future. Again, this has been a pleasure, and we'll see you next time. Thank you.
Sounds good. All righty.